What's up, Internet Land? Zachamus Prime, aka Zachamus Prime, here with another Transformers video review. Today, the figure we're taking a look at is the Netflix Optimus Primal, and actually, Optimus Primal comes in a set with the core class Rattrap. So, today's a twofer. But yeah, let's focus on Optimus Primal here for a little bit. Full disclosure, as you may know from watching my channel, I'm really not much of a Beast Wars guy. So I'm not super familiar with what the differences are between this guy and the standard release of Optimus Primal. I'm not sure what the differences are. I know that there's got to be some differences, but I don't know what they are. But yeah, Optimus Primal, he looks right. He looks like everything is proper. Again, like I said, I've never been super huge on Beast Wars, so I guess I can't tell you if something was slightly off. But from what I've seen, and I believe I've reviewed the Masterpiece one, way back in the day. Yeah, I think it all looks right. But anyhow, he's got this really nice, like full texture, like not just the waves of the fur, but there's like a spackled like texture on that sculpt as well, and it looks good. It catches the light really well. It's a good looking sculpt. But yeah, I dig it. Some quality design that went into just the sculpt on that. So I like that. Yeah. In terms of accessories, he comes with two swords. They fit into his hands just like so. They fit in a little tight. His hands open and close, but like not to grip anything. They will hold. He just holds that between his palm and his thumb. So the hands just open and close for show. But I guess that's not the worst thing. I'm not even gonna say that's a weird thing. It's just a thing. But yeah, he's got swords. All of his other weapons are not accessories. They are features. And I'll show you these features because they're pretty freaking rad. If you push on this little panel right here, this panel pops up, and then you've got little wrist blasters. I thought they separated from this panel, but I guess they don't. Little wrist blasters that come out on both arms. That's cool. And with all the like texture and stuff like that, like, I mean, I guess I can't say that they disappear, like they turn invisible in there, but they tuck away pretty well. Like, they're not super discernible. And then he's got cannons that go over his shoulders. You have to kind of pull this out, and then you flip these. Come on. Flip these around. Boom. And now he's got cannons that go over his shoulders. And these ones look like they do take blast effects. So that's swanky, I suppose. You can just like stick them up like that. I don't know. Was that a look he ever did in the show? I have no idea. So yeah, those are his accessories, the swords, and then other weapon features that he's got. And I do like that he's got the, like, you know, weapon features. I think that's swanky. Real quick, let's put him aside for a bit and talk about Rattrap while I've got him here. Rattrap is... So I used to have the Generations, was it Thrilling 30s? I don't remember. I used to have the older Generations Rattrap. And I liked it mostly because you could, like, flip the piece. So when he's in the rat mode, you could stand him up on two legs and tilt his head down. And then there was a little piece of sculpt that came out to cover up the back of his neck in the standing rat mode. Well, in robot mode, you can take that and flip that. It's stored in his chest, but you could flip that up and over his head, and it looked like he was wearing a hoodie. And I don't know why, but that just really amused me. It still amuses me, even though I don't have the figure. I haven't had the figure in years, and it still amuses me. But anyhow, yeah, Rattrap is just like a little Rattrap. I think that this is considered scale size, so that's good. I guess that's why you'd have to give up your old deluxe class Rattrap. He does come with an accessory. You know it's a good day when the accessories have accessories. That just plugs into his little fist hole, and he can point it at things. Like so. He can point it at whatever he wants. Like so. He does have just the tiniest little paint app. Let me see if I can show you. He's got his little buck teeth painted in. I mean, that's attention to detail. I don't know how they put in that tiny little buck teeth, but they did. And you know what? I can appreciate that level of detail. But in terms of articulation, Rattrap has got a head swivel. The back of his head kind of smashes into these joints here, so it's a little hampered, but it will go all the way around. His arm is on the shoulder joint here. It's a ball joint that sticks out this way. So instead of attaching on from the side, it attaches on from the front. And so his arm still goes forward, but it goes forward that much. It doesn't go back at all, but you know, you couldn't get it back at all with all this stuff here anyhow. But it will go all the way up and around, like so. If you want his arm to point in other directions, like you're going to have to get funny with this ball joint. It does limit how that posability works somewhat. But I think that it's a limitation that you can really work with. And given the space considerations of it, I think that works out. Ball joint for the elbow, which works as a swivel and has a bend for just over 90 degrees. No waist joint. Ball joint on the hips. Leg goes forward that much, goes backwards that much, comes out for the full Van Damme and maybe a tiny bit more. Ball joint at the knee also provides a swivel and a bend for that much, though if you use his transformation joint, you can cheat it and get like a double joint. It breaks the sculpt, but I mean, I'm sure somebody can find a way for that. You can get like a little crouch stance going on. And then a ball joint at the foot. Oh, I forgot to talk about posability on Optimus Primal. His head is on a ball joint. It looks up a little bit, looks down, not really any at all. Goes all the way around. His shoulders will come all the way around. His shoulder will come out for the full tree pose. I do like that there's like a locking mechanism here on this, so that when this comes out, it like locks into place, and you can bend this without worrying about the shoulder becoming dislodged. I like that feature because, as I recall, some of the other Optimus Primals, their shoulders become dislodged all the time. He's got a bicep swivel, single joint elbow, which bends all the way. Breaks the sculpt, but it bends. He's got a wrist joint and opening fingers, waist joint. Leg goes that far forward, that far back. If you move the butt flap back as far as it'll go. Go out for, I'll call that 90% of a Van Damme. He's got a little bit of a thigh swivel here. He's got, it's technically a double joint, but like, ideally it doesn't want you to move this upper joint, but you can bend that lower joint for more than 90 degrees, and then if you cheat it, then you can bend it slightly more. He has a rotation right here in the mid-thigh. It's a weird point for a rotation, but given the fact that he has no ankle swivel, he's got this tilt here, but he's got no like ankle swivel, I'll take it. He's got this like little piston thingamajig on his foot that's like connected on both ends with like a ball joint. And so that allows this to pivot just fine. It does lock into place. You can unlock it to get a little bit of forward motion, but not much. Not enough that I think that's worth. And then you can tilt his heel toes. He's got toes on his heels. He's got toes on his toes and toes on his heels. I think that's a sufficient amount of postability for Optimus Primal. Let's go back to Rattrap real quick. Oh yeah, I also wanted to point out, you can store these on his body. He's got tabs right in here, or slots, and then tabs on his swords that allow him to plug into those slots. And so he can hold everything on him. You don't have to have anything loose. You don't have to have anything that goes in the plastic bag. It all sits. Similarly, Rattrap has got a little tab right here. Well, it's the tab on this gun, but there's a little spot right there. And this plugs into that spot. So he can store his weapon as well. So, things that you can do, I guess. To get this guy transformed up, first thing you want to do is take his head and just break his neck. I mean, rotate his head all the way around. You can disconnect this. There's a little tab right here that clips onto his shell, and you want to untab that. And you can bring this out in preparation for getting it all to go. With that done, you can take his whole back is on this little like double jointed thingamajig, and you can double joint that down. Bring out his little rat head, and then bring this double joint down the rest of the way. Nope, that's the rest of the way right there. You know you got it right when his like head kind of fills in that gap there. So for his legs, what you want to do is, so for his arms, let's talk about his arms first. So you want to pull this down on this joint here. And then you want to rotate his arms out like so. And then you can bring these in, and these shoulder joints will tuck in behind his butt. Oh, hey, I wanted to do this. You want to rotate all of that. And then this little like relief cut here will plug into this tab that's there, like that. I swear to God I've done this before. I'm not making this up on the fly. And then you'll bring those in. And then you've got these slots on the back of his arm and these tabs down here on his butt. And his fists will go about where a rat's testicles would be. Coincidence? I don't know. And then you want to take his knees and fold them out like this. And basically what he's going to do is these tabs right here are going to plug into his thighs. And then his leg is going to come up and around. You're going to bring that and then kind of just fit into that spot and then rotate this to fit. So let's do it again for the other leg. So this slot is going to go into this tab here. And then you just disconnect his knee stuff over here. Like that. And then mess around with this little ball joint till you get this. It does not click into that position. It just kind of sits there. But then you can rotate his foot, and there he is looking like a rat. Does he look like a rat? He do. He do look like a rat. Would have been nice if there was a way to store this like inside here somewhere, but there's not. The best solution they could come up with is this tab right here. He's got two tabs on his gun. This one's for robot mode. This one's for rat mode. And the rat mode one fits into this little relief cut here on that ball joint. Like so. Like so. Come on. Like so. Screen accurate? I don't think so. But there he is. Now he's a little rat. We'll stick him back off to the side, bring in Optimus Primal again. To get this guy transformed up, you want to take off his swords. And, I mean, he goes from a, you know, like bipedal robot to like a bipedal animal. So there's never been a whole lot of transformation involved in Optimus Primal. So you want to take this part here. Let's just do his legs first. You want to take these toes and fold them all the way up. And then you can take his legs and disconnect them from that joint and then use that to like double joint them up like so. Like so. Now you can take his waist and spin it all the way around. So his butt flap has become like, you know, a other kind of flap. Yeah. That kind of flap. And then you want to take and let's just open up this entirely. Oh, I forgot to mention, he's got the littlest amount of butterfly joint there. It's not for transformation either. That doesn't tab into anything. So then you take this part here, pull this out, swing it around, fold his guns in while you've got this going. And then bring up his head and shove this down, and then fold this around and plug this back into place. Now his head will go like that. You can take this, disconnect that, swivel that around, and then fold this down. That's his new butt flap. And then fold down his shoulders. And now he become Munkey. And you know what? Again, it's a pretty good figure. Like I said, I think I've reviewed the Masterpiece Optimus Primal. And I mean, I feel like this looks just as good as the Masterpiece Optimus Primal. It's got all the same features. It's got, you know, most all the same posability. It even has this like textured look. So the Masterpiece one had the like wavy contours like fur. but a lot of the fur detail was actually painted on, and it was a cool technique that they did to somehow like tampo print or paint like the whole panel, and they did all of his Munkey panels that way. And I thought that was pretty cool. It was a cool manufacturing technique. But I like this texture a lot better. So in some ways, it might even be better than the masterpiece. Something to think about. Most of his articulation is exactly the same. His head looks up, not down at all. He's got a weird sort of swivel here, so his head looks side to side a little bit. You can bring it up and like tilt it around. This is mostly for if you take and rotate his wrists and like put out his knuckles. We're going to stand him on his knuckles just to show we can. And then you can bring these forward and then bring the feet forward a little bit. And now he can walk on all fours. But yeah, mostly his articulation is going to be fairly similar. His legs are going to be severely limited because of, you know, all these hip skirts that are in the way. And the way this works, you don't really have any bend on the knees. Like I said, like I showed, you can put a little bit of bend forward, but you can't put any bend back. His foot goes, he's got his toes bend down, but not up. You still have access to his arm cannons if you want to. You can even flip out his shoulder cannons if you want to, but I don't know that he used any of those in his gorilla mode. So, but yeah, that's pretty much it for these two. All in all, it's not bad. If you pick them up for cheap at Ross, like I did, then it's maybe even a little bit better. But that's about all I got for that. Anyhow, thanks everybody for watching. You guys are fantastic. Everybody stay awesome and be good to each other. See ya.